Hi there, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Michelle Marchant Johnson with Love Life Coaching, and I'm here with a great friend of mine and a special guest who's appearing on the upcoming Man Panel event, and that is Mamoon Yusaf. Welcome, Mamoon.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Mamoon and I just recorded an incredible interview for this event, and you have to hear it. So the Man Panel is free, but it's starting soon, and you just need to click on the link below to join us. And you can hear Mamoon's interview and the interviews from all of these other men giving you insights into the hearts and minds of men. But today I also wanted to give Mamoon a chance to give you just a little taste or a little flavor of some things that we talked about. And we talked on the interview about 5 ways to attract the one and repel the rest. He's not going to tell you all of that now. You have to join the event for that. But he is going to give us a little taste. So Mamoon, I'm going to let you take it away here.
Yeah, thank you. So the number one key, if you want to attract the one and repel the rest, is to create a absolutely firm intention that I have to describe the intention. There are 7 billion or 8 billion people walking around on planet Earth right now. Out of all of those people, the optimal spouse for you is walking around. And of course, you and I, we can't figure out who that person is, right? We can't date 4 billion people and do a logical analysis with a clipboard and a checklist and figure out which one is the optimal one. We can't do that. But what we can absolutely do is hold a firm intention. And I go a little bit spiritual here because it is really, for me, it's a prayer where I'm like, at some point I just realized, like, hold on a second. My whole life, or my whole single life, I've been praying to, get married. I've been praying to get married and live happily ever after. It never occurred to me to actually firmly make the intentional prayer that, dear beloved divine, out of the 4 billion women walking around on planet Earth right now, only you know which one is the optimal spouse for me and for whom I am the optimal husband. Match me with them, marry me to them, and no one else. And that for me was such a powerful prayer that it reframed and shifted everything. And it did it in a few ways. One of the big ways that happened was anyone who it didn't work out with, if they ended the relationship or if something came up and I realized that they definitely weren't the one, when that happened, it was just so easy to detach. It was so easy to let go because I was like, oh, thanks for the pointer, divine, right? Thanks for letting me know. That was clear, right? And so that's one huge thing that happened. But the second huge thing that happened is when I met when I met my dear beloved wife, Rashida, it was incredible because now I don't know if women have this, but guys certainly do, which is, when you're dating someone and it's great, everything's going well, but you've been dating for a while and you've seen a few different people and you could get this little like comparison thing. Mm-hmm. And you're like, okay, well, she's really great, but what about, someone else? What if there's,
No, women do that too, Mamoon.
I figured. I was being really polite. I was kind of being chivalrous there, pretending it was a guy thing, right? But what happens is that doubt or that serial, maybe there's something better, it kind of disappears in confidence in knowing that the person that you're with is the one. It's kind of like, well, now I'm matched with the one, so I literally don't need to look anywhere else unless and until, and this is the big secret, how do you know the one that you're with is the one? And after you've made the firm intention and the prayer, there's a super logical way to figure it out, which is you assume they are the one unless and until they make it really obvious that they're not, right? Which it turns out people do really quickly, right? It happens within a couple of dates. Sometimes the first time you meet, you're like, oh, yep, that's not the one. the moment, you know, some people will treat you badly at a certain point in the relationship. Some people, you'll do the compatibility assessment, and you know, you want completely different things. You have different values, you want different things in life. They want kids, you don't want kids, or vice versa. It's like, if they make it clear they're not the one, trust that you've poured your heart out, and you've given up control and given it to the divine. You've given it to the universe, or the source of the universe, to match you with your perfect spouse. So at that point, it all becomes super simple. Now, of course, there are deeper things and inner game things, and there's a whole journey we go on, and we go into that a lot during our real conversation. But the key here is just holding the intention for your optimal spouse first and foremost, and knowing that this way, like, here's the secret. Me and Rashida, how do I know she's the one? She still hasn't proven otherwise. We have kids, we have twin boys. We're several years later of happy marriage. She still hasn't proven otherwise, and thankfully neither have I, right? When, another little secret here, if the other person is telling you you're not the one for me, guess what? They're not the one, right? So it's like really clear sign from the universe there, right?
Don't try to change their mind.
Don't try to change their mind. Don't try to, like, don't devalue yourself that way. Like, and don't second guess God's decree, right? If they're the one, they will be chasing you as much as you're chasing them, right? All the games disappear, and they turn into really a love story, like a real love story.
Yeah, you know, I love that you're talking about this, Mamoon, because one of the things that I noticed, you know, I got married for the first time at 43. And I went through a series of relationships that were just kind of a struggle. It was kind of like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. You know, it was just kind of like push me, pull me, struggle, drama, all this kind of stuff, right? And one of the things that I noticed that was distinct and different about my courtship and relationship with Benjamin as we were getting to know each other were things just like smoothly and gradually progressed. There was not that struggle. There was not the drama. And you know what's weird about that is some of that stuff can be kind of addictive. Like if you're used to being in that kind of pattern, you can almost start wondering if something's wrong when things are going really well and really smoothly.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And I'll tell you, after it worked out with me and Rashida, so quick little side story here. Rashida is Dutch Moroccan. So her parents are from Morocco, and she grew up in the Netherlands. I'm British Pakistani. My parents are from Pakistan. I grew up in England. We met in Portugal. Long story that we talk about in the session. But when our parents met for the first time, and our families met in Morocco at her parents' house, they couldn't speak the same language, literally. Rashida and I had no idea what was going to happen. It was like, and we're talking about an intercultural marriage, completely, like, you know, Pakistan is very far away from Morocco, different side of the planet, completely intercultural marriage. Nobody's like, they didn't speak the same language. You know what happened? Absolute flow, absolute love. It's like that my parents and hers have been family friends for years, even though they didn't even speak the same language. They just knew that our parents saw each other, like my father saw her father, and they just knew. They were like, oh, we're part of the same family. We're part of the same tribe. Right. And that's just one example. It's not like it's always going to work out perfectly with families and stuff, of course. But the flow when you're with the one is unmistakable.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. I can remember people would say that to me. They'd say, you know, when it's the one, it'll just naturally work and it will fall into place. And I'm like, who are you kidding? I've been out
What are
there
you
dating
talking
for
about?
decades. Are you mad? But in the end, you know, that's the way it went. That's
I
the
know.
way.
I realized when I was single, this would be the most annoying
Right.
perspective. I just realized, oh, I just became that guy, didn't I? I just became the guy who said it all.
Right. It was like fingernails on the chalkboard when people would say
Right.
that to me back when I was single. And yet it was the way it went. It was the way it went. Because I thought, are you kidding me? After all these years of struggles, I mean, I used to joke around and say I was going to write a book called Dating for Decades, like chronicling all these decades of dating mishaps and misadventures and all the
Right.
struggle. And then with Benjamin, it just was not that way. It was just no drama, not the struggle. Didn't feel like one person was trying to drag the other one along or one was way more into the other one. It just worked.
Awesome.
So beautiful. It's a beautiful introduction. So we've just touched the tip of the iceberg though. So you do want to join us for the main event. Click on the link below. If you haven't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, be sure to do that because that helps me and my guests. And we really hope to see you here again and also on the Man Panel. And thank you so much, Mamoon, for your generous contribution. Really appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me. Brilliant to be here.
Great to see you.
Take care.
Okay, everybody, bye for now.